Pokemon is a franchise where we had seen many enemies and many villains. We had villains that had motives on the scale of the planet to those that wanted the power to change the whole universe. So many powerful moments coming from all of these villains, and people will have a favorite from some of them. Pokemon has a favorite villain too though, and that villain is Giovanni. I understand that's a huge statement, so I have a lot to go through here. Well, first, who is Giovanni? I'm sure that if you know Pokemon, you'd know who he is, either through the anime where he's shown to be menacing, or in Team Rocket scenarios, or in the games where you can't seem to get away from him. Giovanni is the head of Team Rocket, the team with the focus of exploiting Pokemon for power and profit. Once he's defeated, Team Rocket goes down with him. We get a follow-up on Team Rocket in Johto, but he's defeated once again. Giovanni at face value probably isn't one of the biggest villains since his goals didn't seem as large in comparison to the other villains, and his ideals weren't as important since he wasn't given that much to say, yet Pokemon loves him, which means that there has to be more to him, and there is. Before a leader of an evil organization, Giovanni was a Pokemon trainer. You have reason to believe that he wasn't like any other trainer because of where he stood and what he came to be. I believe that Giovanni was one of the best trainers there was in Kanto when he was younger, and even during the times of Red and Blue. He was strong enough to become the Viridian City gym leader, which in the history of Pokemon is still one of the biggest plot twists ever. You see him in this position and must think, how and why? That's still something that I can't figure out to this day, and Pokemon hasn't shed any light on how it happened either. Not on how he became the Viridian City gym leader, but how did he become the leader of Team Rocket? Not why is he the gym leader, but why is he evil? Giovanni was a trainer like Red when he was younger, but there was a life-changing event that had to shift his view on Pokemon. We just don't even know what that was. That event defined who he was and what he was going to do with his life. Everything that happened to him led up to everything he became, and it's extremely sad for him. Something impactful enough to make him into a person that's willing to kill both Pokemon and people and put those that he loves to the side, all for his goal. His need to carry out Team Rocket's mission is such an important motive for him that he has to abandon and ignore his son. But is it because he doesn't have time for Silver? Or because he doesn't want Silver to become like him? He might look like a man blinded by his goal, but he's self-aware to the point where he knows that he's not the same person anymore, and he became weaker for it. Red versus Giovanni is one of the most important fights in the franchise. It's something that he never forgets about, and it causes his whole kingdom to fall because of it. In Red, he doesn't just see himself, he sees what he could have been. Red is a trainer with nothing to say, but he's doing it all for the greater good. He defeats Giovanni, who was supposed to be a trained villain with enough experience to beat anyone that comes for his team. This battle makes Giovanni question everything that he's done, figuring out whether if it was all worth it or not. But he continues to work on bringing Team Rocket back regardless of what happened to him there. In his head, he believes that Red is either a fluke or a sign that the other side is coming for him no matter what. It's a villain realizing that his fate is probably set in stone, and the path that he chose was a dead end. It's a villain realizing that maybe he shouldn't have gone with this path and thinking about life on how it would have been better if he didn't. The reason why this is such a huge battle was because of Red and how he came out being on top. Red is on a continuous rise to the top, and it gets to the point where no one can contest him. That's until the second coming of a number one trainer, that trainer being Gold. He was the trainer to beat Red and solidified Giovanni's thoughts on his decisions. With Gold, he realizes that it couldn't just be Red, and it doesn't matter how many times he brings back Team Rocket, these trainers will come back stronger and stronger, and that's his fate. Giovanni is able to learn from his experiences and turn into a better person for it. When I see what Giovanni became, I think a lot about who he was before he went in that darker direction. To give you perspective, Giovanni's real name is Sakaki, and that name holds more power to it and who he was. Sakaki comes from Sakaki, an evergreen tree, Clyera japonica, which we all know as Sakaki, and that translates into sacred tree or divine tree, an evergreen tree which connects to his role in Viridian and why the Earth badge looks like an evergreen tree, or a Sakaki. Connecting points even further, you have Giovanni being the leader of his hometown, that hometown being Viridian or Tokiwa City, Tokiwa meaning eternally constant. There's so much to take from his hometown alone. Does everyone know about Giovanni and how he was corrupted? Well, they were sure amazed when he was the gym leader of Viridian. How big of a trainer was Giovanni? How does Giovanni's family feel all about this? Well, his mom that we see in the movie seems to be fine with Giovanni becoming who he is since she was the leader of Team Rocket before him. Where's his dad? Was he normal since we see Giovanni when he's younger in Origins going back to a time where he was good? I want to know so much about Giovanni, but what I want to know most is how did he come to be? What caused him to take leadership of Team Rocket? He's the #1 bad guy that Pokemon loves to put on, but we only get vague information on his past. But maybe that's what they're going for. Maybe we're only supposed to know as much as Red and Gold know because that's all that's being shown and spoken about. Maybe we're only supposed to see Giovanni's development and decisions to truly feel for his character. My curiosity is going to drive me mad, but if that's what they're going for, then I'm fine with it. But what if Giovanni didn't have that development? What if he wasn't defeated by Red or Gold and he ended them both, fully accepting what he became and nothing being in the way of stopping him? Well, we have exactly that. Team Rainbow Rocket. This is single-handedly the largest villain plot to ever happen in Pokemon. I want to talk so much about this, but I'm going to focus on Giovanni only. It finally got to a point where his motives no longer lay in the region or the planets. Team Rainbow Rocket moves with a power that transcends universes, going from universe to take over, trying to be the one team that's unstoppable, but that isn't the case. The timeline that he got to was one where he was defeated, but being defeated doesn't faze him enough to change. It's too late for that now. The only thing that he does is accept the loss and plans to come back when he's stronger. In the meantime, he goes for other universes that are hopefully weaker than the one where he was defeated. Going back to the battle against Giovanni that leads Rainbow Rocket, he asked you to join, and you decline. He said that having a kid stand in front of me like this, such a thing should never happen. But for some reason, it also makes me nostalgic. A kid standing in front of him, challenging him. Nostalgia that could go back to his childhood, or the most probable memories being those of his encounters with the protagonist of his world. While he changes and continuously falls further into darkness, he still holds that same passion for battling. And when you win, you see the same lines that you saw back in Red and Blue. Ha! That was a truly intense fight. I see that you raise your Pokemon with the utmost care. Except now, he believes that you shouldn't go all out on a kid. A kid that's ready to defend his world, even though that the person he's going against is way larger than what he knows. He's seen this before, and he respects it. He leaves out of respect, but he'll be back one day, and our trainer will be ready for his return. Giovanni is a character that was made by Pokemon for Pokemon. He's not a regional antagonist. When looking at the franchise, he's the antagonist of it all. He's given the rank with what he's done. While the other antagonists are great, they're meant to be under him in terms of the game. There's a reason why he's in the dead center of the art, since it's supposed to work all around him. Every antagonist that we have or will get will have a piece of Giovanni that shines on them. While you may not see it at first glance, it's there. Their first attempt at a villain was done great, but with so many questions. I'll keep my curiosity at bay for now, but I'd love to see more of him in the future. It's nostalgic for him to see us, but it's impact that has us build from him. Pokemon gives us so many lessons in the game through all their villains, lessons that apply in real life. I think one of the best lessons was given by Giovanni though. A lesson that can reflect in-game, competitive, and anywhere in real life. And that's, no matter how strong you are, someday you'll lose. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is the first time I've done a character analysis on Pokemon, and I plan to do more in the franchise, but if you have any ideas on any other games or shows, I'll be down to look in the comments. If you have any favorite moments from Kanto or Team Rocket, I'd also like to see that too. I'd probably say the final battle between Red and Giovanni for me, you already know why. Hopefully, I'll see you guys all in the next one. So until then, peace out, and Godspeed.